his face anyway.
All right. Heiser show. My gosh, this is probably the most exciting show I've ever been a part of. Why, you ask? Because of this. This is the Commissioner's Cup, given out to the winners of the Federal Hockey League Championship. And right here in our studio, we have Phil Esposito.
Thank you, Marty.
And all these Danbury Whalers. We've got, introduce them.
Tyler Noseworthy, number 83. Julian Frazier, number 22. Anthony Pizzano, number 33, a.k.a. Pizza. And Danny DeRocco from New Milford, Connecticut.
Well, I'm telling you, it was, what is it, coming up on a week ago, that night at the Danbury Arena, it was rocking. The first time there's been a professional sports championship of any kind. You were just, a state senator just gave you some sort of citation from the state.
Yeah,
what have you guys been up to since you won the cup?
Well, basically since last Friday, it's been a nonstop party probably for 5 days. So it's kind of a miracle that I was actually able to get these guys here. The only reason why I got them, here is because we were just at a party and I had to drag them out of there to come here. So
there's a big party going on right now over at the Danbury Arena.
Over the Danbury Ice Arena tonight on Thursday night. But the Marty Heiser show was way more important than that.
That's what I like to hear.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's what I like to hear. And you bring the cup down here and everything else. That's incredible. All right, now, let's just go down the line here. Have you won a championship in hockey? Youth, mites, squirts, pee-wees, junior, or what is it?
I actually have. I won the Fred Page Cup my first year of junior, my 16-year-old year. Actually, me and Pisano actually won it together.
Oh, you guys were on the same team?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
He was 18, I was 16. You know, we got a ring together already. So, but I mean, you know, this is my first year pro, so it was pretty special this year.
Wow. I mean, now, how do you describe how this whole thing came together? Because you guys got guys from the Czech Republic, you got guys from Calgary, like you know, Frazier here. You got scores. You got. How did it all gel right at the right time? Because you guys not only won, you swept the championship series and the previous series.
I mean, for us this year, it was just all about gelling at the right time. Like you said, we swept the playoffs and we went into it, you know, with a couple wins too. So. It's all about gelling at the right time, and it just worked out for us this year.
I mean, don't you guys get tired? I mean, some of these road trips, you're going out to Dayton, Ohio. How long of a bus ride is that, 12, 13 hours?
It's like 12, 13 hours. We went out to Danville, which was 16 hours, Danville, Illinois. So
and then you played back-to-back games out there?
Yeah, we played a couple of nights. A couple of times this year during the season, we played like 4 games in 4 nights, too. And then, you know, some nights we played in Danville, and then we traveled, and then we played again. You know, and it was a long, grueling season, but it was well worth it now. And I think this last 5 days has been more grueling than anything for me. But.
I know, my wife's telling me, oh, Marty, that guy, he was on the radio. You guys were on 95.
Yeah, we were on the radio station this morning at 7 o'clock and brought the cup there. And then, you know, obviously we had the party today, and now we're here tonight. And it's just, you know, we're going back to having another party after this one somewhere. So
unbelievable. Frazier.
Yes.
Is it safe to say you haven't made it in professional hockey because of your soft hands and ability to score goals?
Pure grit, though.
Okay, now, when I think of Western Canada hockey, I think of guys like you. Leave it all out on the ice, whatever it takes to win. How would you describe your game?
You know, it's pretty much how it is. You know, I just gritty player, and, you know, I like to go in the corners, not really scared of much, and, you know, that's my role.
How many kids were there in your family growing up? I'm thinking another Sutter situation, 5 guys in the NHL.
Just me and my little brother, and he wasn't really not really a big hockey player, but you know, it was just the only one was me growing up playing hockey. So
do you have like a rink in your backyard and stuff like that?
No,
or how did you build? I mean, did you sling bales of hay out there, or what went on out there?
No, actually, my elementary school had an outdoor rink right across the street, so I just every day after school I'd go out there and be playing until, you know, the sun went down, and, you know, go home and eat and then come back out and
just keep playing.
Keep playing until
when
you
get a call,
longer.
did you get a call from Phil Esposito to come play with the Whalers, or how do they contact you? Do you have an agent?
Actually,
how does this work exactly?
It was Espo's assistant, Goots. Gootsy texted me up and you know, said he was player assistant with Espo, and he wanted me to come down and they want to take a look at me in Danbury. So, you know, seen the opportunity, I took it, and, you know, here I am.
Yeah, that actually was kind of a funny story because the first night Frage got to town, we were playing our first exhibition game when we went down to New Haven and we played against the Cape Cod team in the exhibition game.
Okay.
And for some reason, Frage forgot his skates at the last camp that he was at.
I hate when that
So
happens.
he got all the way here, had all of his equipment, was getting ready to go out on the ice, and then realized he didn't have his skates in his bag.
Oh, bummer.
So it turned out we had to have him FedExed over, so we had him FedExed over that night, and they actually showed up the day of our exhibition game, so he was able to play in the exhibition game. And if he didn't play in that exhibition game, there was probably a chance that he wasn't going to be here. But he played in the exhibition game, and he played so well that I had to bring him back.
Well, my memory of Frazier this year was, I forget, it was a regular season game towards the end of the year, and I'd say one of the few games that you guys were losing. And Frazier went out there, got a little physical with the guy, mixed it up, I could tell he was grasping, he was trying to do anything he possibly can to ignite the team. Is that what you look for him?
That's exactly what his role was.
I'm telling you.
And he did it every night. Every night he did it.
He'd never give up. All right, Pisano. The book says 6'6", 252 pounds?
Oh, the book is correct.
My God, 6'6", and that's not even on skates. I mean, I had, one of the guys, the camera guys, when he saw Pisano,
that's Bob.
Yeah, no, not Bob. Bob's tall enough. No, this is other guys there. But have you considered playing football, basketball, stuff like that, or did you always just have a love
I did
for
everything
hockey?
growing up, but at the right time, the right age, I was about 15, 16. You got to decide at that point whether, what route you're going to go, and I chose hockey. I love hockey.
Now, if I can just cut to the chase. When you fight some of these guys, I mean, it's like David and Goliath. I'm like, I avert my eyes because I go, ooh, this is going to hurt. Yeah. I mean, is it just your physical presence out there that carries the day?
Yeah, I mean, I just, when someone takes liberties with our teammates, I get a little angry, and sometimes I assault some people out there and get a little too rough, but I try to keep my cool sometimes.
Now, would these young hockey players know anything about Wayne Gretzky and Semenko?
I'm sure they know Wayne Gretzky.
Well, they know about Wayne Gretzky and Marty McSorley, stuff like that?
I'm sure Frazier does because he's a Western Canadian boy.
Western Canadian? Okay, so you understand that. Can you explain for our vast viewing audience how exactly this works? The skill player is protected. There's kind of, jailhouse justice out there. How does that exactly work? Go ahead.
I had a coach, actually, when we won the championship with Nosey, his name was Troy Ryan, I had a coach. He told me that no one ever touches Nosey, and still to this day, I believe that no one has touched Nosey yet.
So you're the Semenko. That would make you Gretzky.
That's right.
Okay. It's a bit of a stretch here, but
I don't know about 99, but
No, but I mean, it's kind of. Hold on, it's my wife. I got to get some milk. No, don't worry about it. It's kind of interesting. Oh, yeah, actually, we do have.
We got a caller. We got a live caller.
Caller, do you have questions for this vast array of hockey talent here? Oh, apparently it was.
We got hung up. We got hung up on.
No, but I mean, how does that work exactly? Like, you got skilled players and they're protected, and you can't take liberties, and there's kind of like, I don't know, justice, karma. It all gets worked out there on the ice.
Yeah, I mean, it just everyone has a role in the team. Nosey scores the goals. Me and Frazier protect them, and Duraco's a little sniper himself, hockey player in the making.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you, I mean, it was incredible to watch you guys play. And I got to think, and you know better than I, but the Federal Hockey League, the Danbury fans, and the atmosphere that goes on in that arena seems to be like the best in the league. Yeah. What's it like to play in front of the Danbury? Section 102 alone, I mean, those guys are, psychotic.
I mean, it was great to play. It was great to play in Danbury. But I remember last year I played in Vermont a couple games versus Danbury, and it was pretty intimidating coming into the building. And they're wild, and 102 is just banging on the glass behind you, and they're just giving it to you. So it's intimidating.
I watched on the web. It's like crazy. I'm sitting in my kitchen watching the computer. My wife's like, "What are you doing?" I go, "Shh! I paid $6 for this game. I got to watch this game. I got to watch this game." And she's like, "What's going on?" Hold on, we got a caller. Caller, do you have a question for this vast array of hockey talent?
Yeah. Look, here's the deal. You guys won the championship in Danbury. Now, Danbury, the residents of Danbury love hockey. They've been faithful to these teams, whether it's the Trashers or the Whalers or the several other incarnations of hockey in the area. So what does it mean for you guys to finally bring a championship back to these fans who've been so faithful to you guys over all these years? Thanks a lot.
Good question. Coach, what about that?
Well, basically, I'm just going to reiterate the same speech I just made in the locker room to all the fans that were there. I mean, you should have seen them. There was probably like 200 people packed in our in our locker room just now.
Oh, is
That's
that
how many
right?
people
Oh,
came. Yeah.
okay.
But I made the same speech. A couple of years ago when I took the job here, I promised the fans that we were going to bring a championship to Danbury, and I made the promise. I made the promise, but these guys are the ones that delivered on it. And I think that the reason why they did it was not only because they came together at the right time, but they also realized how big it was, not just for them, but for all the fans and stuff that came to every event and everything we had going. I mean, you've been to some of them.
Oh, yeah.
You've been to some of those Billy Beans events and the Two Steps events, and even the night that they hired me. I mean, the amount of people that were at TK's that night when they just were announcing that I was going to be the coach, it was just crazy. And those people are diehard fans, and they deserve this just as much as we do. And the city of Danbury deserves it after 9 years also. So like I said, these guys believe that just as much as I did. And every night when we played in snowstorms and everything else, and there were still people in the stands in Danbury, I mean, that's a big thing.
And away games.
Yeah, everywhere.
You would have like a flock of people that would follow you to away games.
Yeah, we had a bunch of people down in Dayton during the final series when we were there. They were all staying in the same hotel as us and everything else and stuff, and they all paid their own money to get there, and they were supporting us. And like I said, it's a big thing for everybody, not just for us. They're just as big a part of it as we are.
Wow. Well, it's very exciting. All right, the young guy down at the end. Now, you're a product of Connecticut youth hockey, is that right?
Yeah.
So what's it like to play with guys from the Czech Republic? Guys that, Campbell, he's played in 12 different leagues, and he's played for 23 different teams.
Yeah.
I hockey beat him. I got it right here.
Yeah.
But what's it like to play with some of these veteran guys and, coming up from Connecticut youth hockey?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely awesome with the veterans. I mean, I went to South Camp Prep, actually, so my roommate was from Montreal, and a bunch of guys from all over the world, actually, so that's nothing too new, but the veteran thing is definitely big. A lot of the guys, the leagues they played in, it's a big learning experience for me to have all these guys that, they have so much more experience, and pretty much just take it all in and learn from the best, I guess.
Wow. Caller, do you have a question for these hockey champions?
Yes, I do.
Well, now's your
Yes, I
big
do.
chance. Go right ahead. You can't believe
My
Pisano's
question
watch. Can we
is,
get a shot of that watch? That thing is
3 years
huge.
of the Danbury Whalers, which player would you say is the single most dominant Danbury Whaler player in the 3 years of their existence? And also, is it true that Alan Friedman is an all-around great guy? Is that really true?
Okay, now this could be Alan Friedman's uncle or something like that. All right, the most dominant player in the last 3 years. Oh, good shot of Pisano's watch. No, we need it again. I mean, that's like a garbage can lid on there now. Yeah, just hold it steady.
Put it down.
Okay, good question. Thank you very much for that. What about that? Most dominant player last 3 years. And is Alan Friedman all that, or do you got to say that because he owns the team and signs your checks? Go ahead.
The most dominant player, I believe, in the 3 years that the Danbury Whalers have been in existence, he happens to be a player that played this year for the team, and that player's name is Mike Atkinson, number 7. I mean, Aki is probably the best player that's ever come through Danbury hockey. In the history of Danbury hockey. He's an all-around good player. I mean, he does everything. He blocks shots, he plays defense, he kills penalties, he scores goals. I mean, he's a leader in the locker room. He's probably the best player that this organization has ever seen, and I would probably put him on par with anybody that ever played in Danbury in the history of hockey in Danbury. I mean, I know that there was a period of time when the Trashers were here and they had NHL players and stuff playing here, but Aki's Aki's one of the best players that's been here. And the Alan Friedman thing.
Yeah, what about Alan Friedman?
Listen,
Good guy?
Alan's a great guy.
Spare no expense.
He's a great guy.
How about a charter flight to Danville next
Well,
time?
yeah, that would be nice. But I got to say this one thing though. Alan's a great guy, especially when he's in Staten Island.
There you go. Caller, you have another question for the hockey team.
Yes, I want to have a question for Coach Esposito. What was it like replacing the previous coach and working under Hank, and just basically what it was like working for Herm Sorcher as well?
Excellent question. What about that? I think he's picking at a scab there.
Yeah.
That guy was kind of a pencil neck guy that didn't know that much about hockey.
I'll put it to you this way: everything that
I'm trying to think. I didn't see any hardware when he was there, but go ahead.
everything that he did when I was there,
Yeah.
I've basically taken that and done the opposite. So that's
How's that
basically
worked
how
out
it
for
worked
you?
out pretty well.
All right.
And Herm Sorcher, I gotta say, Herm is one of the best guys I've ever met. I mean, he's the funniest guy. you know, he does a lot of quirky things, a lot of crazy things and stuff, but he's got a good heart, and he knows exactly, you know, what we need to do in order to get people in the stands, and he knows what needs to be done in order to make people in Danbury happy, and he's just, you know, he's a great guy to work with, and it's a lot of fun to be around him most of the time. I mean, he comes in and makes a lot of dumb jokes and stuff, but most of the time they're hilarious and stuff like that. So it's a great place to work, and he's, like I said, he's been working just as hard as I have. You know, between him and me, I mean, we do the grunt of the work between the two of us, and now this year with Beef, our trainer, our equipment guy who's been there, and then we have other guys that help out, Guy and Steve and those guys. But you know, between me and him and Beef, we get the majority of the work done, and we do all the trench work. You know, so you know, with him and me, he understands what these guys what's going to happen.
You have some of the most involved ownership, the promotions, the getting the kids out. You know, I mean, I don't mean to bring it down, but even response to what happened in Newtown.
Listen, it's not a perfectly round wheel, and it doesn't roll all that smooth sometimes, but it works.
Sometimes those gaps between periods stretch out a little bit and things like that. But
it works.
I'm telling you, it's really good. Okay, real quick, we do have Bruce Tumbala, who's here from the mayor's office. Bruce, if you can just come right down here and give him that handheld mic, if you would. Mayor Bowden wishes he could be here, but he had a previous engagement. But Bruce, on behalf of the town or the city of Danbury, he's the executive. What's the title again?
Director of Economic Development, Marty.
Director of Economic Development. And may I ask, the school you went to?
Well, it was called Shattuck School at the time. It's now called Shattuck St. Mary's.
Does that ring a bell for some of you guys?
Hockey.
Sidney Crosby and a couple of the other ones. He never played a lick of hockey there, but he did go to the school. But you have something
Actually,
on that.
I did play some hockey there.
Oh, there you go.
It wasn't. They weren't.
Marty doesn't do very good
They
research.
weren't then what they are now.
Never let the truth get in the way of a good story. So anyways, but you had some on behalf of the mayor and the city of Danbury?
Well, first of all, the mayor's not feeling well. He didn't have a previous engagement. He apologizes. But I just came by. I grew up in Minnesota. I'm a big hockey fan. So when Marty asked, it was a thrill for me to come and say hello and congratulations on behalf of the city, the mayor.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
And as far as what you do for the city, economic development, bring thousands of people downtown. When you play well, it's really good for us. So we want you to keep doing that, and we're very thrilled that you did this for Danbury and for yourselves. I played it on lots of teams, and doing something together as a team, just the best. So I am just happy to be here to say hello, and again, congratulations.
Well, thank you very much.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Bruce. And I remember Mayor Bowden came out and dropped one of the initial pucks there, and it really has been an incredible boon to the whole city. So
I think he was at the championship game.
Yeah, he was there.
Yeah,
He was there.
excellent.
Good.
And if you hang around long enough, when you're done, we'll let you drink out of that.
Yeah. Apparently there has been some drinking going on out of that cup. That's what I understand.
All right. Congratulations.
All right.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, caller, you have a question for the hockey players?
Yeah, I got two questions. One question for the coach. How come Kelly Miller didn't get any power play time? He was your power play expert. And the second question is, how come the mayor didn't support Danbury hockey?
Whoa, okay, good questions, excellent questions.
What was the question?
What about that? Kelly Miller, 500 professional games. I mean, talk about a sniper. The guy would stick his nose anywhere. Why didn't he get time on the power play? And by the way, I think
the
that
phone's ringing
I think that was his uncle. Go ahead.
Hi, I was just wondering why the
geez.
mayor didn't support the team.
All right, now hold on. There's
Wow,
a pattern
wow.
here. The spokesman from the mayor just was here to congratulate the players. So I think the mayor is very supportive of this.
I'm going to have to say something about that because the
Yes.
mayor,
No, the mayor is just stepping up now, but what happened to this entire year?
Well, I don't know. What do you want in Section 102 doing the beep bop thing?
I don't know. I know the mayor. I've talked to the mayor a bunch of times, and the mayor's always been supportive of me and the team. And he was there at the final game on Friday night, and he was there at the parade we had on Sunday. So I mean, I don't know.
I actually didn't get that impression, but I'm glad you feel that way.
Well, he's always been, like I said, every time I've talked to him and every time he's been around, he supported us and he supported me, and I think he supported our ownership, with Herm and stuff.
What about the fire department?
What? He doesn't support the fire department?
I don't know. We got nothing but love for the mayor up in here.
I like the
All right,
mayor.
thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. All right, thanks a lot. Okay, we've got
Is
some.
this like a political show?
Oh, yeah. Look, you guys got like senators, you know. Look, we
got Canadians here. They don't even vote here.
Okay, we got some brilliant footage here. If we're ready to go, we're gonna go to the videotape. It's very high tech here. You know, we work at. It's an all-volunteer crew. You can't really tell. But I'm on television right now. But we're gonna switch to the videotape. Oh, here we go. Now you'll remember this part.
This is the end of the game.
Yeah.
Cody Ayers tried to. Cody Ayers.
Yeah, you want to talk about what's going on here?
Well, basically,
Cody's missing an empty net.
Yeah, this is the last minute of the game. Okay. Cody Ayers went down and tried to score on the empty net goal, and he hit the post, I think. And there's Brownie jumping up and down, like he usually does, except now we actually won this time.
Yeah, yeah. So, what are you feeling right now when you see all this going on? Anybody?
Excitement.
What's that?
I mean, is it a sense of relief? You know, these things aren't over till they're over.
Yeah, it was. I'll be honest with you. It was a little hard in between the second and third period, when we, when we went into the locker room and we were winning 5-2. I think it was going into the third period. I mean, I started to see the different things happening in the locker room in between periods there, because the guys knew we were up 5-2 going into the third period, and I think they could start to feel that we were gonna do this. And then all of a sudden they started to notice the plastic that was put up above the lockers and stuff to cover
So
cover the stuff, and then somebody made a cardinal mistake and started walking champagne cases of champagne into the locker room in between period and stuff.
So Bill Buckner, they had champagne on ice.
Yeah, so it was a little crazy in between second and third period to kind of keep the guys in check, but we went out there in the third period. We played really well in the third period again, and obviously you see the scoreboard now, and that's the way it ended up. So.
Now, as a coach, were you thinking of going Herb Brooks on them and go, if you lose this game, you're going to take it to your adjective grave?
No, I don't think I went that way. I think it was just more or less building the guys' confidence up and letting them know that we had to play real well in order to beat these guys again, and they were going to come out and play, and they did for a while. I think it just got to the point where we overwhelmed them too much, and they couldn't mount anything offensively against us. So
now, those of you not well versed in hockey, this is a tradition. At the end of every series, there's a heartfelt handshake line. I don't think you see this in, baseball, football, basketball, maybe a little bit in basketball. But this is really heartfelt. It's not the biggest league. You guys have played on teams. You played against these guys. A lot of these guys you played with, Shot and some of these other guys. What are you talking about when you go down this line? Frazier, what do you say?
It's a great series. You've been battling them all year and battling them throughout playoffs. You get to know some of the guys, you're playing against pretty well, and, it's an all-around battle, when you're done. So, you want to congratulate the opponent that made you a better player, and, it's just a great feeling going down there.
Yeah, it really, it's kind of a unique sort of thing, because in the intensity of these games, the hits, the cheap shots, the getting back at guys. You guys leave it all out there on the ice, and you think you'd be enemies for life, but somehow when the buzzer sounds, this is how it comes by.
It was a little hard for me in some of those lines, like the first series we had in the first series when we were done against Thousand Islands. It was a little hard for me because there were so many guys over there that played for us this year.
Yeah.
I had Kirky that was there, who was a great kid, and I had Carlo Ricci, who had been here all year last year, and he was here for half the year this year. And it was real tough to go through that line with some of those guys, and tell them how well that they did and stuff, even though that they were on the receiving end of what happened, and they should have probably been wearing Whaler green at the time, but we only have a certain amount of guys that we got to keep, and I got to determine on who are the guys that we need to fill holes and things like that to make the team complete, and that's where we were at. And the same thing happened here because, they didn't have too many of our guys on Dayton, but they did have the kid, Lucas Schott, who played here for 2 years, and I was real close with Shotty when he was here.
He's another guy that no matter what, he's kind of Frazier-esque in his willingness to do it.
And I was real close with Shotty when he was here, and it really hurt me when I had to release him that time, and he wound up getting picked up by Brooklyn, and then he was gone. So it was just kind of one of those things where when you get to that point, it becomes almost a totally different, little conversation that you have with him. Just sort of a personal thing.
Ed Campbell and Shotty mixing it up a bit there in the final game. Did you notice that?
Yeah, Shotty was a little. He was a little just. frustrated and stuff at the time about what had happened. I mean, they had dominated every.
Campbell's not a young man. That's like beating up a senior citizen. That's not right, is it?
They had dominated the league all year long, and when we came in and did what we did to
them. There he is, number 3, that's Campbell.
When we came in and did what we did to them there in Dayton, they were kind of surprised. So.
Now this tradition of carrying the. Okay, when the interviews okay. But this tradition of winging the cup around, it actually started in Toronto.
Are you just making that up?
I'm not making it up. Honest to goodness. Google it if you want. But it started in Toronto. There was this Toronto Maple Leaf guy, and they were giving out the Stanley Cup. And he got so excited, he skated over to it and picked it up and started skating around the ice with it. And ever since then, that's when that.
Do you have a caller on the line there?
Yeah.
You hung up on
still there? Yeah, you got to hold the line here. There's going to be some brilliant interviews coming up here. You'll want to stay tuned.
Uh-oh, what happened?
I think that's the owner.
That's Alan. That's the all-around great guy, Alan Friedman.
While we get back up, caller, what's your question for the assembled hockey talent here?
Well, I'd like to ask Coach Esposito. Well, first off, I'd like to congratulate him on a great season and a championship. And what his plans are for next season, if he's coming back to the Whalers, or if he's going to move up a league, or,
Basically, the answer to that question is I have no idea what's going on right now. As of right now, I'm the coach of the Whalers, and I'm going to be here, and getting ready for next year and see what happens. I mean, we won a championship here, so maybe I have to come back and win another one and kind of solidify, being a coach here and stuff like that. But as of right now, it's kind of too early. We just won this last Friday. I got like another week of partying left before I actually decide what's going on. I think my wife's only going to give me a couple more days past before I got to actually go home again. So. But it's going to be one of those things that after we get through, and actually, when I break out the golf clubs, then I'll start worrying about that.
Caller, if you had a vote, you want Espo back?
Yeah, we hope you come back. We hope you come back.
All right, by show of hands, who wants to see Espo come back next year? Show of hands?
Absolutely.
Okay, it's unanimous. All right, we're going to go back to these brilliant interviews. Now back, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. All right. And now back to the videotape. Before we do, we're going to do a line dance. Ready? Go. Never mind.
You could do that stupid Section 102 thing.
Yeah, that pipe thing. Do, 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 do. As we wait for, as soon as you're ready. You ready to play?
This is a high-class TV show. Make sure you remember that.
Go ahead. Go ahead with your question.
What's it like being a local guy and playing for and winning a championship right here in front of all your friends and family?
And that question was for Danny?
For Dan, yeah.
For Danny.
All right, Dan. What's it like? What's it like being a local youth hockey product and playing in front of local fans?
It's awesome. It's great. My parents were at every game that I played in, and my friends from school and everything were around. And it's nice to get to go home to my own bed after that long night. It was great. It was great. I grew up. I actually have Ed Campbell's autograph on a Trashers jersey from going to Trashers games.
Is that right?
I found that in my closet. So
Oh.
That was pretty cool to be part of the team now. So.
Wow. Now you also had was it Chris Seifert? Wasn't he a local talent?
Yeah, he played. He's from Darien, I think, and he played last year for us. He didn't play this year at all.
Yeah.
We went in a different direction this year with some of the guys. So,
yeah.
I mean, we only had like 2 or 3 guys from last year's team: Pizza and Vetri and Carance, I think, and Kelly Miller. There was like 4. That was it.
Yeah.
So, and Sanford when he came later. So.
Yeah, Sanford. If he was coming, he won all those games with Dayton.
Yeah.
And he comes over here and wins all the games with you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like, who's that? I want to say Lemieux, but not Mario, but Claude Lemieux.
Claude Lemieux.
And every team he goes on, he would win.
Win games.
Are we good? Okay, we're gonna play these great interviews now. Go ahead.
Nice.
There we go. Yeah. Okay. So those are some of your fans.
That's all. That's 3,116 people.
Unbelievable. That's great. And now we're stuck there.
Again, the same
Yeah.
spot.
Here we go.
Oh, is that Marty Heiser?
Yeah. But
What
this
happened?
is when
You
the
aged.
aliens took over. And so do we have those queued up yet? All right, as soon as we do. All right.
Oh, there we go. Oh, no, we don't.
No, this is... Now, we better not get any nasty files in there. This is a family show. This could be a real big problem.
It looked like Marty's taxes.
I know. All right, but let me ask you. As soon as they get past that part, you let me know. Okay.
Well, you know, that's how we've been trying to play the whole series, the whole season. Guys working hard, always never giving up, and that's kind of been our mantra. So it's finally worked out for us.
Well, but I mean, the third period, you got in a little fisticuffs. Aren't you getting a little old for that?
I was like, this is an assault on a senior citizen. The game's over. I don't like I was being silly, that's all. So.
Well, I'll tell you, you know, you're all kidding aside, in the twilight of your career, this has got to feel good. Championship.
Yes, it feels great. It feels great. You know, it's anytime you get a chance to win with these guys, you remember them forever. So it's good. It's a great feeling.
Well, listen, congratulations. Enjoy watching you play.
Thank you.
MVP of the league, MVP of the world, MVP of the team, highest goal scorer. What are your thoughts?
I'm just happy it's over. We got it done like we should have. We won 6 straight in the playoffs, and that's all I can ask for. These guys are just unbelievable. Everybody from top to bottom, coaches, staff, everybody. Fans are awesome. It's just great.
How about the end of the year, first round in the playoffs, and now the championship series? The goal production was just off the charts. And tonight, 6 goals, 6 different players.
That's what happened in the playoffs. Everybody came to play. We had to work hard every minute, and the guys did that, and now we're champs, so it's been good.
Mike Sparks, be with youth hockey, minor hockey, college hockey. How many championships?
This will be my second real one, so I'm happy about it. Definitely happy about it.
Well, listen, congratulations. Well done.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Aaron Fraser, Calgary, Western Canada. What are your thoughts about winning this championship?
It was a long road, you know, hard-fought battles all year long. And, you know, we're here, and we did it. We did it, and, you know, it brought a lot of heart, a lot of character to win this cup. And, you know, that's what we brought, so.
If the Whalers were down and they weren't doing good, you'd go out, you get physical, you do what they do. Do you stir the pot of this team?
You know, you just got to do what it takes sometimes, and you know, that's what it took at the time. And you know, not playing tonight, it was hard for me to sit back and watch. But you know, the boys went out there and did what they were meant to do. We were meant to win this cup, and that's what happened right here in Denver.
Excellent. Congratulations.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot. All the way from what? The Czech Republic?
Yeah.
All the way from the Czech Republic. European hockey player. This man put it all out on the ice. He checked guys. They didn't always go down, but you did check them. What are your thoughts about winning this championship?
It was an amazing season, you know, like we worked hard, and it was like our goal. Like when I came here, we just said in our locker room, like we have to win this year because we made the team for championship, and so what I said, we work hard, and now we can celebrate because we get it.
Earlier in the year, you had your father that came all the way over to Europe to play. How was it to perform as a professional hockey player in front of your father? What of a thrill was that?
Say again, sorry.
Was it a thrill to have your father in the stands, all the way from the Czech Republic, to watch you play hockey?
Yeah, it was something special for me, you know, because it was, for my parents, it was a dream visit the United States, and this year they had opportunity because I play. He's not good yet. He's not good yet. Because I play here, so it was something special for me. See my parents here in States on stands. So.
Well, I'll tell you, great game. It was a joy watching you all season. You're a great hockey player.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
We're here with Fraser, Calgary, Western Canada. What are your thoughts about winning this championship?
It was a long road, you know, hard-fought battles all year long. And, you know, we're here, and we did it. We did it. You know, it brought a lot of heart, a lot of character to win this cup. And, you know, that's what we brought. So
I'm telling you, regular season, game in, game out. If the Whalers were down and they weren't doing good, you'd go out, you get physical, you do what they do. Do you stir the pot of this team?
You know, you just got to do what it takes sometimes, and you know, that's what it took at the time. And you know, not playing tonight, it was hard for me to sit back and watch. But you know, the boys went out there and did what they were meant to do. We were meant to win this cup, and that's what happened right here in Denver.
Excellent. Congratulations.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot. All right, all the way from what? The Czech Republic?
Yeah.
All the way from the Czech Republic. European hockey player. This man put it all out on the ice. He checked guys. They didn't know us. We're working up some of those. Kind of fast forwarding. You'll notice we got two of Fraser.
Really won't hit me for
couple days, I don't think.
I'm telling you, the play of this team, the way Phil Esposito had you guys playing, what was like a 1-1-3 or a neutral zone trap? I mean, it was relentless. It seemed like you stifled this Dayton offense.
Yeah, you know, they're a great team, and we wanted to slow them down through the neutral zone, not let them attack with speed, and everyone bought into it, and, you know, we executed as best we could, and it worked out well.
Do you guys get rings for this stuff? Do you get a ring?
I have heard we get rings.
Holy
I hope so.
What a night. Listen, congratulations. Appreciate your work.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
The Federal Hockey League championship. They say they can never take a championship away from you. What are you feeling right now?
Oh, I've never felt like this. Just a whole new spark for the game. Just the boys came out. It was unbelievable. Awesome.
The sense of camaraderie and unity in that team, in that locker room. I mean, you got guys from the Czech Republic. You got guys from Western Canada. You got American hockey players, and then you got this crazy guy Phil Esposito coaching you. How does it all work and come together?
Oh man, we bicker and fight, but we're just one big family. Tonight, before the game, we all knew we were going to win. We all knew it. We just came together, and like there's one guy in the room who won before, so this is all new to us. And Phil, he's definitely by far the best coach in the league, and he led us here.
What can you say about Mike Brown? He stood on his head as goaltending, looking like end of the year, first playoff series, and then this. What can you say about the goalie, Mike Brown?
Yeah, he's a leader in the room, and he takes charge on and off the ice, and there's no words. He's the MVP for sure. So, yes.
Well, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. I hear you guys get rings.
Yeah, I'm pumped about that for sure, and a little bit of food.
Okay, so you just won a hockey championship. You have a beautiful lady next to you. What are your thoughts?
I don't really have much going on right now in my brain. I just want to go out and have a blast tonight.
Best day of your life.
Now, Mike Brown was the starting goalie tonight, but you were on the bench and you were commenting to the other goalie who ended up getting pulled. What were you sharing? Words of encouragement?
Yeah, a little bit of that. That kid's soft, and I let him know.
Now, he gave in one goal that I think, you know, geometrically, I don't think that should have gone in, a shot from the corner.
Yeah, he was shaky from the beginning, and we exposed him.
Okay, is it true that hockey players always get the pretty girls?
Yep, absolutely.
And what is it about hockey players that just attract you women? What is it?
They're such studs. That's all. They're just such studs, especially this one right here. He's the winner.
There you go, boys and girls. Put away the soccer balls, play hockey. Thanks. Good job. We're with Pisano, one of the stalwarts, one of the Rock of Gibraltar on the defensive line this year. What are your thoughts right now, just winning a championship?
I'm speechless. I mean, I knew coming into playoffs that we were the team to beat. We were the team that everyone thought was going to lose. We always are the underdog, and look what happened. We're hoisting the cup here in Danbury. We just started history in this town. I'm so excited to be here, and I love this place.
I'll tell you, that's one thing. You know, everyone in the Federal Hockey League did not want to play in Danbury because Section 102 was worth what, a goal or two a game?
I mean, honestly, I played against this team last year. I was scared to come in this building. I'm not scared of a lot of people, but I was scared to come in here. And I just love being a part of the Whalers. I love being a part of this community, and there's years to come from now.
6'6", 252 pounds, and he's scared of Section 102. What's it like to share this with your friend?
Oh, it's awesome. These guys deserve it. 3 years.
They got broomsticks up there.
Come on, this is great. Unbelievable.
Well, congratulations. Appreciate watching you all here.
Thank you.
Danbury Whalers, 6-3 victory. They sweep the Dayton Demons to win the Federal Hockey League Commissioner's Cup. Not quite the Stanley Cup, but pretty close. The Danbury Whalers have brought a championship to Danbury, Connecticut. The first one in the history of pro sports here in Danbury. The first one in pro hockey for years in the entire state of Connecticut. These guys, some from Calgary, Alberta, some from the Czech Republic. We have a certifiable head case in the net, Michael Brown. And then you got Phil Esposito. He's a whack job behind the net. But it all came together, and they won a championship. The final score, 6-3. Danbury Whalers win. And we appreciate all their effort. This is Marty Heiser from the Marty Heiser Show, and you just can't make this stuff up. We'll see you next week. All right. A little over the top there. I'm pretty into this stuff, as you can tell. This is like, You know, I just like hanging out with hockey players because.
I'm still trying to determine whether or not I have the right to fine Peter Vetri for bringing his girlfriend on the TV station.
Yeah, no, I thought that was fine. I mean, you know, you talk about the game within the game. Peter Vetri was backup goalie, although he's a stalwart goalie before he put on all the weight. No, I'm kidding. Peter, just love you. But no, he's a great goalie in his own right. Where did he played at Quinnipiac?
Played at Quinnipiac, yeah.
Great hockey program, so he's a great goalie. But I'm telling you,
he was actually the philosopher for Brownie this year. Like, he was Brownie's psychologist for a while there. He kind of was the one who turned Brownie's head into where it was in the playoffs. So.
Well, I mean, if we can just speak freely here, all goalies are a bit of a head case. They're all nuts. But Michael Brown, I mean, he would get. I mean, I would sit there behind your bench and hear you two guys go at it. Something like he wasn't playing, he was playing, he should play. I told you I should play something. I mean, I didn't understand it. I don't think it was fit for children. But yeah, I think he probably needs a constant supervision, that goalie. I mean,
yeah, he's a handful. I'll put it to you that way.
He's holding on by a very thin thread.
The good thing about it is now he's somebody else's problem right now.
Really? Has he already shipped out?
No, he's still here, but he's not my problem anymore.
Okay.
At least not until next year.
Okay. So Tyler, what's the future hold for you? And I'm going to go right down the line here. I want to hear from all of you guys. I mean, like, people talk about hockey, and they're like, oh, the Whalers, and I tell them, I go, these guys are incredibly good hockey players. And like, oh, are they going to play for the Rangers next year? And I'm like, whoa, maybe not that. But there's an incredible. I mean, when you look at some of these teams that guys have played for, there's all kinds of hockey in Europe, down south. What are the future hold for you? And I'm going to go right down the line.
I mean, like, you know, I'm trying to move up, like, every step that I can. Like, I mean, I was fortunate enough this year to play a couple games in the East Coast League, which was important to me. Like, Espo helped me out a lot with that. And, I mean, I loved playing here in Danbury. We won a cup and stuff like that. But, you know, it's a career, it's my job. So you know, my goal is obviously to move up levels, East Coast, American League, you know. You never really know. It's all about how hard you work.
Now, how does that go? I mean, do you have an agent? Do you got to get your videotapes out there? Is it who you know, what you know, where there's an opening, if there's a lockout? What about Europe? I mean, how do you navigate all that?
I mean, I don't have an agent. I had an agent when I was younger. It just didn't work out. I kind of went in the other direction. But it is, you know, it's kind of all about who you know and like how hard you're going to work. And the right guy will give you a chance. And you know, you can run with it for sure.
So if you had this concept, I'll call it the keeping the dream alive, the hockey dream. I mean, how old are you now?
I'm 21.
21. So you're just like a kid. So I mean, do you pencil in like I'm going to give this 10 years, or do you have like, if I'm not, you know, what's your thinking on it? Or you just take it day by day?
I mean, like you said, I'll never give up the dream. So you know, I'm in it for the long run, however long it takes, I guess.
So you just keep going and see how far you get.
That's right.
All right. Fraser, how about you? What are your plans?
Well, you know, as Nosey said, I mean, you know, you want to play as high as you can, and you know, every summer I train pretty hard and try and make to the next level. I mean, that's the goal. You know, ever since you're a little kid, you always want to play in the NHL, and you know, that's my goal, is to play as high as I possibly can, and you know, that's what I'm going to do my best to do that.
Wow. Now, Pisano, you ever watch a show on TV called Oil Change? Have you seen that show?
Oil Change?
Yeah,
I think I've seen it. Yeah.
No, it's on the NHL Network. You never seen it?
Oh, yes, I have.
It's really good. I mean, but they're
all about the Edmonton Oilers.
Edmonton Oilers, yeah. And I prefer to be out the Rangers or the Blackhawks, but what are you going to do? But, I mean, they're always having guys that have played in the league lower for like 400, 500 games, and they finally get the call up, and they're there. They're in the show. Well, what are your plans? I mean, if you had to script it out for yourself?
I mean, even when I played with Nosey, I had the opportunity the year after we won our championship, I actually went to the Edmonton Oilers camp. I've been to a couple NHL camps, and when you get to that level and you see how hard you actually have to work and the commitment and dedication that you have to put into your body, and then just the sport itself, it's amazing. And once you're there, it's like the big dream come true, and it's like you can go up just as fast as you can go down.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping to play at the AA level next year. I feel like I've improved myself, and I just need to work on a little bit of foot speed. I'm a pretty big guy, so I feel like if I work on that, I can play at the play at the next level, and sky's the limit from there.
Yeah. It's interesting when you consider, like, you're, I would say, a very good judge of hockey talent. You look at what a guy brings to the table. A guy like Pisano, I mean, just the statistics, alone. I mean, just the size, and you know, that's got to be a big asset for him if you're looking for, you know, some help on the blue line.
If you know anything about hockey and you watch the National Hockey League now and stuff,
they're huge.
You'll see there's a lot of guys.
Monsters.
There's a lot of guys Anthony size. I mean, there's a lot of forwards and stuff that are Anthony size who skate, you know, can skate like the wind and stuff on top of it. So having his size is a big advantage. But the thing I've learned over the years of me playing and me coaching and stuff is that, you know, a lot of these guys that are playing here and stuff, they have the talent and stuff to play at the next level, and they have the talent to move up. It's just whether or not they want the commitment to do it or not. You know, they got to have that commitment. And a lot of it, you know, you said, you know, it's who you know. But a lot of times it's just being in the right spot at the right time, like getting an opportunity. You know, when somebody gets hurt or something, to get called up, and then you get called up, and then you play up there, and you happen to have like one of the best games you played in a while, and then all of a sudden they bought you another game, and then you play again, and you play again, and then all of a sudden you made your spot on the third line for yourself up at the next level, and then you work your way up in that, and then before you know it, you're at the top of that team, and then you get another break, you know, you get another chance. So once you get to that level, you know, it's pretty much not to the point where these guys are not good enough to play there. It's just more or less finding the right spot, finding the right fit, finding a team that isn't doing so well, maybe like the bottom of the league team that has a bunch of guys that aren't really playing that well, and then you get a couple of young guys come in there with some spark and they play well in front of them, you know, in those games when they get that opportunity. It's all about chances. It's all about moments. And I don't know, you know, it's about, you know, I had this saying thing in the locker room that I put in there before the playoffs started and stuff. It's about, you know, your moments and owning your own moments, you know. And when you get those chances to produce, and you do, that's when you get you kind of make a mark for yourself and you get yourself a chance to play. And that's basically what these guys are doing every day. I mean, when these guys get an opportunity, and, you know, obviously you look at the championship series, they had an opportunity to do something and they did it, you know. So now that they've got that mark in their hat and on their resume, now that it'll help them for next year, because everybody wants a winner, you know. And when you could produce in tough situations and produce under pressure and win a championship, a lot of coaches are looking for that next year.
Yeah, I mean, does that enhance your hockey DB, your hockey resume, if you have a championship?
Yeah, definitely. You know, I've got a couple call-ups. Espo's really good with that. I mean, he wants us to play at the next level. He wants to push us and strive for more every day. And you know, just definitely winning a championship and then kind of having him as guidance to help me out to get to the next level is going to be a lot easier.
Wow.
Yep, for sure.
How about yourself? What are your hockey plans?
Yeah, like them as well. You know, as far as they can take me. I mean, I'm 19, so Espo kind of gave me a shot at an early age to kind of get in the mix. You know, play a little pro when I'm younger. So, I mean, I still have junior eligibility and everything, but I'd like to eventually, you know, do well and kind of have an impact in Danbury, or, you know, see wherever it can take me. As far as I got a long road ahead of me, I think. We'll see what happens.
I mean, it's interesting. You know, I look at these guys. They're young and they're living their dream. I mean, it just, you know, playing professional hockey, doing this. First of all, the camaraderie, just the fun of the game. I mean, just the literal. I mean, when you win a game, there's no better high. I mean, I guess it's kind of a low when you lose, but then, you know, somehow like going and getting your CPA license, or going and selling insurance, or I'm run a painting business, you know, somehow it pales in comparison to just the fun of
it's really funny you say that, because when I retired from playing, I had, you know, I got to the point where I'd played, you know, a long time in the minor leagues and doing the bus trips and doing the hotels.
Well,
and
yeah, you
else.
played at West Point too. You played very high level college hockey.
I'm just talking about the whole minor pro thing.
Yeah.
And you got to the point where you just got, you know, you get to the point where you get so tired of the travel and changing apartments all the time and moving from city to city every year, having to pack up your stuff and go back and forth, that you just get to the point where you say to yourself, you know what? I just can't do this anymore. I'm gonna end it here. I'm gonna go do what I got to do. And I did that. And I took off like a year, and I think it was like a year and 9 months.
Okay.
And when I took that, after that year and 9 months of being off of it, then I just said to myself, I said, I got to be crazy, because even though I couldn't stand it at the time and I hated moving around and stuff, but I got to be back there. I got to be back on the bus. I got to be back with the guys, you know, going, you know, doing what we're doing every day and going out for practice. I mean, because, you know, everybody says, you know, there's nothing better in the world than to have a job that you love to do, and it's like you're not even going to work when you do it, and that's kind of like the same thing here. I mean, every day I go there, and these guys will tell you, some days I was miserable, and some days I was pissed, and I was mad, and I screamed and hollered and stuff, but, you know, every day we had a good time most of the time, and it was a real, you know, these guys are a great bunch of guys to be around every single day, and being on the bus, and some of the things that happened, that I'll just say, things happened. You know what I'm saying?
What happened in Vegas stays in Vegas.
That's pretty much it. But those are things that nobody else gets every day, and we happen to be able to do that every day. So.
All right, Frazier, I got a philosophical question for you. Does chemistry bring about winning, or does winning bring about good chemistry? What comes first, the chicken or the egg? I mean, you guys obviously had a great chemistry as a team, and you won a lot of games, especially at the end of the year. You peaked just right. What's the winning formula to bring about that chemistry on a team?
Well, I think you definitely need chemistry to win hockey games, and if that chemistry is not there, then plain and simple, it won't happen. You look at Dayton, you know, it felt like they were falling apart a little bit. It felt like they didn't have the chemistry in the final series. And, you know, we were just like, you know, every time you see the boys at practice, you're going into a game like, you know, these are the boys that are going to do it. And when you know you have that faith and that chemistry in the room, that, like, you know you're going to do it. You just know, everyone knows. Yeah. So chemistry is definitely the most important thing to win big games like that.
And it's interesting to watch the dynamics. Even in your game, we were allowed to come in the locker room right between the second and third period. You seem like, well, first of all, in the second period, they kept tying it up. You know, they kept coming back, and you were like, oh no, we gotta keep them down. They kept coming back. Between the second and third period, the goalie, Mike Brown, kind of called everyone together. He said, hey, this might seem... And then, Fasano, why don't you tell us what happened between the second and third period that kind of got everyone focused?
I mean, Brownie comes over to the bench very frequently and yells a lot of stuff, but he's he's a passionate guy, and he came over, and it was more of a leadership role that he's taken this year, and he just came over and he was like, boys, this is our game. This is it. We're closing it out tonight. We're sweeping them, and let's go. Let's keep it going, stay out of the box, and we're winning this. It's done.
And he talked a little bit about some of the veterans, like Campbell, and then was this Miller's? Was this his first championship?
Yeah. As a pro hockey player, yeah.
And that was it. And he said, "Hey, let's do it for the veterans too." Carl, do you have a question for the now champion Danbury Whalers?
I do have a question. I have a question for Mr. Anthony Paisano. This is Biff Bennett. Where does he get his hair cut?
Yeah, you know, that guy Camille Larva. How do you say that?
Camille Vavra.
I know Camille. I think they have the same barber. What about that? The look? Do you think it's going to catch on?
No, I mean, you know, I just find a barber in every city I go to. I need a fancy character just to buzz it off for me now, and yeah, that's it.
I think you're gonna. How about yourself? What do you think about the idea of the chemistry and how this team came together? And it seems like, you know, there's an array of guys. There's snipers, there's stay-at-home defensemen, there are guys that are real verbal, there are other guys that you won't get a peep out of them, but they're going to leave it all on the ice. What brings this team together like that?
I mean, like you said, there's a lot of different guys, different character. Obviously, what makes it work is having those different guys and like the character and what they bring to the team, like all coming together. That's what basically won us a championship. Like I said earlier, like it's all about like coming together at the right time, and you know we did that, like, you know, flying colors this year. So.
Now, have you been on a team where it doesn't work and where there's, you know, jealousies and backbiting that goes on? It can go downhill pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, like, there wasn't not necessarily like jealousy and stuff like that, but last year, my last year of junior, we actually had a really good team. We were ranked, you know, top 10 in Canada last year, like, and it just, you know, we were good all year, and then all of a sudden, you know, playoffs came around and just it wasn't there like it should have been, like in the important time of playoffs, and it just wasn't there. But you know, those kind of things happen. I mean, right now, this year, this is what I was worried about, and it did happen. All the boys came together, so chemistry was key, definitely.
That's great. I mean, closing thoughts on the year, on what happened?
Like you're asking some of these guys, the questions you're asking, the response you're getting from all of them, you know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much the response of all 19 guys that we had on the team. They were all pretty much in the sync about what was going on. I mean, we went through a lot of stuff this year. Like, we went through a lot of stuff people don't see, a lot of behind the scenes stuff. We went through a lot of stuff on the road. I mean, we went through a period at Christmas time where we were going to Danville and Dayton and playing with, like, we had 11 or 12 guys on the bus. I mean, we played a lot of games with just short benches and everything else, and these guys stuck it out, and we did pretty well on those games where, you know, we only had 12 guys. I mean, we went into Dayton and we lost in a shootout with 12 guys one night. We had guys hurt, guys called up.
They had won like 17 out of the last 18 games.
Yeah, and you'd be surprised that when you play games like that and you go through some of the things we went through on the road and stuff, how much better these guys get and how closer they get and stuff. And when they get that close and things are going like that real well, and then you get some of the additions that we had towards the end of the year, like Sanford coming back and Miller coming back, and you know, then we got Punarelli and those guys and stuff, and they just kind of filled in the holes that we needed to fill in, and then everything kind of fell into place. So, like I told many people in the last couple of days when they asked me this question, it was just one of those situations where at the beginning of the year, it's like when you open up a brand new puzzle and you throw it out all over the table, and then you start trying to fit pieces together, and then it just kind of all finished right at the right time, right before the playoffs started. And then it was one picture perfect thing, you know, right at the end. So.
Wow. Well, listen, I mean, it's been really incredible to watch you guys play. You know, my wife, I married a Canadian because genetically I really wanted to raise a hockey player. That was my plan. My son did play some youth hockey. Then he became a goalie, and, you know, that's the wrong route to go. So he never quite made it to where you guys are. But I'd be going, I'm going, come on, honey, let's go to the Whalers game. And she's like, oh, come on, it's great, it's great. I got one of those passes, you know, I got the
press pass.
Big
time,
I got the press pass, and it's like, you know, from about 2 years ago. But they never check. They just let you right in. You just come with the, the media or something like that. But I'm telling you, it was a real thrill watching you guys play, and I think it was really, I mean, this city, actually the last 2 or 3 years with the economy the way it is, you know, and then the horrific thing that happened in Newtown. I don't know if you guys realize what a diversion you are for the guys, you know, in this town. I mean, they're a real passionate hockey fans. Like the one caller says, going back to the Trashers, going back to the Mad Hatters, what was the other team? The
Stars.
The Stars. I mean, going back, but they're real passionate hockey fans in this town. And the way you guys brought everyone together, and the way that it was a family-oriented kind of thing. I mean, I remember seeing this priest. It was like from, you know, St. Aloysius youth group. And, you know, there'd be like a bunch of little kids, and there's the priest, and the fight would break out on the ice, and he'd be like, give him hell, give him hell. And I'm like, this is quite a little snapshot here. But really, the way it was family entertainment for everyone, and the way you brought the whole town together, it was
everything
really
except for the pre-game speeches.
Well, some of that, you know,
pre-game speeches in the locker room, there was a lot of bleeps.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're gonna the same guy, the technician here that put together those interviews has some of those, but yeah, we got to bleep them out, you know, somewhat. But
I got to work on that.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's you know, impactful. You know, the vocabulary it's limited, but it's very impactful. My mother used to call that just locker room talk. All right, so are you guys all leaving town now, or are you going to be around for a while, or what do you do? You're here forever?
Party for a few more days, and then
I know this is pretty good.
Figure out what's going on. So.
All right. Now, you guys, do you have plans like summer hockey? Do you go to camps? Do you go? Where does it go from here? You're not even thinking about it.
No, I mean, we're just taking it all in right now. I think, just like Espo said, we have a couple other days to party here, and then we'll go home to our families for Easter weekend, and you know, give it a couple weeks and let it soak in, and then you get back in the gym and start training again, and you know, you got to work hard and come back and be ready to play, have a job.
All right. So all these guys got a spot on your roster coming this year,
these guys
if they want.
These guys can play on any team I coach ever.
All right, and you're gonna be back, or you don't know yet?
I'm gonna be back.
You will be back. Damn, are you gonna roll this thing forward?
Yeah, we're gonna see.
All right. Well, listen, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. I feel like I've gotten all the value out of the Danbury Whalers. It's been incredible watching you guys play. Bringing back that Commissioner's Cup trophy is just something that, you know, the whole town, the whole city of Danbury can rally around. You had Senator McLaughlin give you a citation from Hartford. And I really appreciate you guys coming on the show.
Hey, I got to thank you for everything that you did for us. I mean, I know you don't get paid very much for doing this, but
no, I'm happy to do it.
You came out many nights and you did this show with us, and you did the coaches show last year and everything. So
that was fun.
Thank you very much.
No, happy to do it. I'm just, you know, I like hanging out with hockey players that are really good. Got to get you guys to come play on my men's league team. That would be really good. Like, hey, I brought a couple guys. You know, Pisano walks in the locker room. Yeah, hey, he's on my line. Okay, you know, that would be something to see. So, if you guys are looking for a skate during the summer, Tuesday, Thursday night. Actually, Seifert used to play with us.
I know.
I stood him right up on the blue line a couple times. He's not that good. All right, listen, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next week when we'll have some two-bit politician in here. But we unfortunately won't have these guys. But thanks for joining us. Go Whalers. Let's do it again next year. We'll see you next week. Thank you.